Good evening there, Paul.
Good evening.
Oh, you're coming through okay tonight?
Yes.
That's very good indeed. And how are things at your end today?
Well, they're not all that tremendous, but they're reasonable.
You've just been sewing up your coat of arms, have you?
Oh, I haven't been, but yes, Fish has. Well, Fish still is, as a matter of fact.
No, the Fish are doing some work. Doing some work on the Harlow.
On the sewing machine.
On the sewing machine.
As we know, there might be another sewing machine working tonight.
Yes. Working overtime, sewing up things.
We'll be sewing up lips tomorrow morning.
Yes, tomorrow is Sunday, isn't it? Yeah. Now we've got distortions here. Hang on, just turn that down. Yeah. So that should be quite interesting.
Do you have to work tomorrow?
No, I've got one day off. Yes, tomorrow is off.
Oh, that's your first day of your holes.
First day of my holes. I was thinking,
Did they give you big parties? No.
No, I got no. The Williams was there, and I said I'm going away. And he says, "Oh yes, very good."
Did the Mars bar walk in there?
The Mars bar wasn't there, but the Black was there.
And he said nice things?
He said I should buy a Seavers and listen to 160 in over there. And so it should be very good there.
I suppose you could always buy a receiver.
Because?
I suppose you could always buy cheap receivers from the place where they make tea-tape. One of those places.
Well, look, it's like this. I want to buy something. I don't want anything like your receiver. That would be hopeless.
It'd be, well, I mean, you'd be good, but...
If it was good,
But you can't sort of just buy it and throw it away. And you haven't got much time to sell it to anybody.
Yeah.
You can't put it in the Los Angeles Trading Post.
I would like to take the eavesdropper, but it doesn't cover FM. I have to take an extra receivers for FM.
You could always just take a broadcast receivers for that. Buy a cheap one, one of those $10 pocket ones. Yeah,
because I'm sure the eavesdropper would be better than anything you'd buy for under about $80.
Oh, it would be. And they'd look at it because, of course, you can't buy eavesdroppers.
And it would have, you'd look at the dial and say, what's this? Only. It's got 3GI, 3dB, 2UW. What's all these numbers? 2UV?
2UV small ships.
They go, wow, man, new station, international meters. And at least then I'd know I'd have a good 160-metre Seavers.
Yes.
But it's heavy, and when you consider I'll be doing a lot of walking, this in the back of the pack is a bit...
Oh, you are walking, are you?
Well, not all the way, but there will be a fair amount of walk missions through Death Valley and all this sort of thing.
Death Valley?
Yes. I'm going for a walk through Death Valley.
I guess so die.
Hope not. And through Monument Valley.
Monument Valley, where's that?
There's all these monuments, measles down Monument Valley.
Were you going to stay in hotels or what?
Oh, some of the time, and in the other time I'll stay where I...
Camp.
Yes. I've got to sort of... I can't spend too much in accommodations, so it'll be half and half.
It gets rather expensive.
It does.
Expensive.
Say if you sleep out a few nights and you'll appreciate paying $20 to sleep in for a little while, and...
Yes.
So it should be very good indeed. It's windy.
I guess for the first few days you will be sleeping in LA or something.
Yes. Actually, I'll stop at Honolulu. Is the first thing, so I'll be able to hear the Loran close at hand. You'll hear Loran.
Johnson Island.
The Loran in super quality going. You tune off the side and you hear.
You know what you want to do is you go into all the electronic shops there are around the place, or radio shops,
and
just ask for a demonstration of Seavers so you can see what things are like.
Yeah, that's right. You tune across and they go, but you tune to 160. I wonder if you'd hear the branch over there. You could. Look,
I'm sure it'd be possible.
People work W's on CW.
So why couldn't you hear the branch?
That's right. Now his sidebands are about as powerful as most people's CW meters. So, although maybe the Loran covered it up over there.
It probably does. It's quite...
Anyway, anybody listening over there who just listening to these missions, yes, I might visit you next week.
Just give tings now.
No, you don't. Ting, it says, call from San Francisco. You say, yes. We're receiving you loud and clear. How, yes, loud and clear.
And they keep putting... I'm standing in a phone box putting I'm standing in a phone box, putting money in the slot. Oh, it's time for another 20 cents. Hang on, push, and you ding.
Yes.
Like a certain other person.
Certain person from Westdale.
Oh, it's John from San Francisco here. Oh dear.
Oh yes, we have calls, international teams.
Yes.
Sure. You've been having so many tings, that's why you've been forced to get the PMD to remove your extension phone.
Yes, that's right. No, actually it was for Super ABBA missions tonight. Fourth time ABBA missions.
You mean you were using it as a landline?
Yes. Sending Super ABBA missions from upstairs down to downstairs, so he had the coloured receivers and the Super ABBA sound missions.
Coming through the stereo.
Blasting all over the house.
But that's about the 10th time you've seen it.
Fourth.
It's
been on 4 times.
Is it just a repeat of what they had previous?
That's right. I've shown 4 times in 2 months.
It must be quite popular, that program.
It is exceptionally.
I'll just get the alarm clock so we don't get overdo our missions without call signs. There's no fish here at the moment, so I'll just throw an old C40. I'll throw a transformer across the room. No, I won't. That might dent the room.
Yes. Might just do
I'll
that.
just put that clock missions up there. It says 5 to 5. Now I'm back on the headphones.
It's on GMT, is it?
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, that should be those alterations there should be quite good.
Any alterations that you have made to that tuner and that has been worthwhile?
I think this is about the worst I've heard you in signal strength and quality. Yes.
It would be quite handy having a Sievers like mine to take over there, because you can hang it around your neck.
Look, that would be the perfect Sievers.
It's got a nice strap on it.
How much does it cost?
115.
Now, I could possibly get that for about 80, I suppose.
Duty free, yes.
That's still a lot of money for a Sievers.
Oh yeah, but it's a super good Sievers.
It's like a portable communication Sievers.
It is. Because I was just walking about the house listening to ZLs and 80 before, which I thought was exceptionally good.
It covers...
And I was listening to ABDH. Look, ABDH...
What station's that?
Well, you know what station it is.
Yeah,
he was
fine, Paul.
He was on 80 before, and look, I was just walking in the house with the Sievers.
Yeah.
The tenors up on the Sievers.
Yeah.
Telescope tenors, and he was working a VK5 and the VK6, and I could hear, but the VK6 as well is pretty weak, but I could make of him, and ABDH had to go off because he couldn't hear the VK6. Yet I could hear him on the Zista radio without the tenors.
That's incredible.
So I was rather pleased about that.
What model is your Zista radio?
It's an... Hang on, I'll just turn it round.
When did you stop talking here?
We're just over the other side of the room.
It's stalking to the house.
Yes. RF1150BA. Hang on, come. Well, I'm back again. It's the RF1150.
Yes.
RF1150.
Oh, I've only got a hard pencil.
And there's 3 models. There's a BA, BE and a B something else. And I think the BA stands for B Australia because of the fact that it's got only a 240 volt power supply in it.
Oh, I see.
And there's a B something which has got variable 110 to 240.
Oh, I see. It also has internal bat missions.
Oh yes.
It has bat missions.
That man. And I think the BE one is for marketing in England. But anyway.
That's the G. That's for the G's to use.
The alternative number on the front though, the number is GX600M.
GX600M.
So if you see it in the shop or something, that's what you'll see. The other number's on the back. The other number's the one I think they use in America actually.
It's fairly heavy though, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I carried it all the way up One Tree Hill one day.
Yeah, I suppose not too bad. But if you're carrying other things as well,
yeah, I suppose it could be a bit of a pain.
But it would be a major thing going and listening. You can listen to broadcast FM. And all the other bands with the BFO as well.
I was listening to some stuff on 11 metres earlier, and just hear these people can go, hello, hello, and they go off again. They have no idea of how to call CQ or do anything.
I think they should all be banned.
Oh, yes.
Then the people ring up.
Hmm.
So I think they should be dealt with by the Commission.
Commission. Yes.
But anyway, if I could see one of them in one of these duty type places, cheap, I could possibly buy one. Then when I get back, I could sell it, I suppose, and make a profit on it.
That's right.
Which is completely illegal, but that's what you do here.
Yes.
Actually, I'd probably sell the eavesdropper then.
Yes,
Keep
it's
that.
better than the eavesdropper in many respects.
What could I sell the eavesdropper for now that I...
Well, that's been wrecked. I mean, in such good condition. Look, I don't know why, but when I gave that eavesdropper to you, I mean, the dial was cracked. That was all that was wrong with it.
That's right.
Now it's
It had
been
heterodyne
dropped
emission.
so many times. It's gone deaf for some reason because it's been dropped so often. Probably broken all the slugs or something.
The Uncle Lugs were all
Uncle
broken.
Lugs. Couldn't you give it to your fish? At least it doesn't snort like the Toshiba
I
seeds.
could, I suppose, give it to him. But that's bad because it means he can listen to 160.
Yes.
Well, I can
But
listen
he
to
can
it.
now anyway.
He just tunes anywhere other than...
A station.
Yeah, and he hears it. Distorting through Toshiba missions.
Or the AWA receivers with the circular dial.
That wouldn't pick up... You can hardly pick up the red tenet on that.
Or did you check to make sure it couldn't be heard or something?
No, I just picked it up one night and had to tune it. It's hard to come through. But, well, I might...
So GX600M, well, you know what it looks
Well,
like.
we can tell by its specifications.
Yes, GX600M, and it's got a great big... Oh, you've seen it.
Yeah.
I don't need to describe it as a
What would be good to have a corder so you could cord some of it. But then...
Did you hear that paper falling just then?
Yes, quite
So
clearly.
one of my maps just fell off the wall.
What was this the map of?
A map of Melbourne.
Oh, yes.
Not to worry.
With
Back
marks
again.
on where the major 160-metre missions come from.
I was going to do that to one of them, except I thought it would wreck it. So I didn't ever bother. Stick pins in it, where all the missions come from.
Yeah, and radiuses and all sort of thing in major missions areas.
You know, what were you going to say? Going to say something?
About Seavers, I suppose. Yeah, well, if I could buy one, it would be good. I could come back, I could talk for hours on the air about what the missions are like over there. Because that is almost a portable communications Seavers.
Almost. Not quite, but almost.
There's nothing quite like it with the BFO and everything in it.
No, there isn't really, I suppose. And the gyro tenors.
Yeah, I'll have to see what I can buy. It's well, I've only got a certain amount of money to spend. I can't go buying Seavers.
Yes. Can lie in your tent and listen to Seavers all day and night.
Yes, I'm not taking any tent missions.
Oh, you're not?
No.
You're going to hire one?
No. Oh, I suppose.
You're just going to sleep in the open? What if it pours with rain?
I often sleep in the open. All my hikes, I just sleep in the open missions.
Well, what would happen if it started raining?
You put on a raincoat. You'd get wet.
And the Seavers would get wet too.
I know, Seavers in plastic bag.
Oh, yes.
Maybe I could just opt for a medium quality AM, FM and maybe shortwave Seavers with 3 bands for about $30. Then I could tune it to 160, probably hear 80 and 40 but without BFO, and I had to buy another $2 Seavers for BFO. And that'd probably be the best way, I guess.
Yes, could be.
Then I could buy a walkie-talkie, since they're legal over there,
A talkie, yes.
in case they get lost.
Talking on the talkie. Call on Channel 9. Help. Help. I need somebody.
So that should be very exciting, I must admit, having Seavers. But imagine listening to all their missions they have there. It must be so crowded.
Yes, I just like to see if you had a really good long-range FM Seavers. It'd be interesting to see how far away you can hear stations from.
Yeah.
Must be fun to do DXs and things.
Well, look, if you're up on top of Mount McKinley, you probably hear everywhere. Quite a way, anyhow.
You should borrow a Ken from somebody. Wouldn't be much use because they've got all different channels there.
Yeah, you might just get on a channel. Look, you need it VFO if you lived there.
You turn it on your head.
Channel 1.
Plonk.
You'd be able to hear how much Peter's abused over there.
They sound exactly the same.
If you lived over there, I reckon you'd need to have a VFO or something, because you couldn't afford all the crystal missions.
That's right. It's getting to the point here where the 6-channel rig isn't enough, really. If you're going to be serious about the missions,
yeah,
you need to have one with more than 6 channels.
I'm going to build, one of these days, a multiplier so I can feed the 101 into the MR6 and use it as a crystal, should be stable enough. And receive on averters. And this is a crossband contact. So that should be very good indeed. But, yeah, well, this might be the last crossband for some time. Oh, look, I'll come across tomorrow sometime and give you some white boxes.
Yes.
Professional there, I feel. Some white boxes and a particular rock.
Well, it depends on what time you come across.
What time would you be there?
You'd have to come across after dinner.
Oh, yes.
Because I'll be out
doing missions.
Look, I have to do BWI missions, which is a pain, really. Because, look, I've got all this schoolwork to do. Well, I think that might get left in the banes this week. Very good. Gee, they're good. And then we've got other missions all afternoon.
Yeah.
So, I'll be home after about 7:30 or so.
Yeah, well...
After dinner then.
After dinner missions and mints.
Mints.
Okay, well, I'll just come and give you the cords, the boxes and the stuff, and the Xtel so you can do missions late at night.
After dinner missions.
Yes, that should be
Hand
good.
around the after dinner missions.
Hmm.
Little...
It's raining here,
Little brown packets. Is it? Oh. Because I was listening to I went mad on shortwave listening tonight. I was listening to all the fun things they're going to have in America for their bicentenary celebrations.
Oh, yes.
I tuned across 80 metres. And just near there, they had, of course, the Sydney Terminal Information thing comes on shortwave, and they said rain in Melbourne. But I didn't know it had been raining. Apparently it has been.
That's a good mission. That's a strong mission. You can hear it everywhere.
But I was listening to the Voice of America,
Oh, yes.
which was being blotted out on 9 meg, so I had to listen to the 6 meg version.
Who's doing blots?
Some teletype thing.
Oh, yeah.
You could almost get rid of it, but not quite. China was 5-9 plus tonight, though.
They always are. I think they overmodulate their missions and overrate...
Look, you tune off to the side and there's all these sidebands there with the Chinese twang opera.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's quite hilarious, the Chinese missions, really.
Yes.
They have plenty of outlets. Plenty of networks.
Blotting networks. They do blot missions.
Blot missions.
They're like people on Channel 1.
Yeah.
Anyway, we might get ourselves in a diplomatic tie.
We may lose diplomatic relations.
Yes, because we're like personal ambassadors. You and your shacks are like personal ambassadors.
Yeah, we're personal ambassadors to Australia, aren't we?
Yes.
Being on the air missions, because anyone can listen. Anyone in as far away as South Japan.
And South Caulfield.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Oh, the things they're going to have for the bicentenary celebrations over there. And there was an interview with some professor from the Smithsonian Institute.
Gee, that's good.
He was talking about all the displays they're going to have during this summer, which is, of course... Yes. Which is, of course, now, because it's winter here.
Yeah.
And, actually, that would be fun going through Death Valley. You'll probably die of heat exhaustion.
Yes, I hope not.
What was I going to say? Oh, yes. And they're going to have all sorts of interesting scientific displays, and one of them will be that you can actually touch some moon rock.
Touch the
rock? So you can say, well, I've touched the moon.
I can imagine
Wouldn't that be good?
Americans doing that. They'd love to just touch the rock, but eventually wear away after a million touches.
People would be taking bits off it and
you can
taking it home.
grab it and take a moon rock home. Or get a stone and put it in its place. I suppose there's closed circuit TV looking at it all the
there's probably
time.
a guard standing right next to it.
It's probably only a garden rock anyhow.
Yes, it's probably a bit of sandstone or something somebody's grabbed from somewhere and put in the case.
Yes.
But if people grew long fingernails, I suppose they could scrape some of it up.
Yeah. Be very expensive rock.
Oh, yes.
Better than Ayers rock.
I've forgotten the other things again. It sounded very, very interesting indeed.
2 steps and a little dit. Look, I'm going to put a plastic cover over my tuning unit. So, could you just stand by a second?
Mm-hmm.
Standing by. There's quite a bit of hum in the missions. Are you there?
Yeah.
No, that crackle I think is...
Ignition
Oh,
noise.
fish are coming in now. Oh, what a nuisance factor. Now, why would they come in now? Obviously they didn't have a very good time.
Maybe they're listening on a car seavers.
Well, since their car hasn't got a sievers.
Oh, they couldn't have been there.
But we can hear a fan or something in your room, or a hum or something coming
Yeah,
through.
it's battery charger noises and the tape recorder noise. Hello, what are they doing?
It certainly, I suppose it sounds rather industrialistic. But yeah, anyway, that should be very good indeed. I was adjusting the rotary ductors.
Add to that tuner and that.
And of course, you know what happened, the thing broke off it and I had to stick it in my hand. It's all untuned now, so it's all... It's had the Williams.
Oh, you got a tuning unit on the tenors, that's why your signal's gone up.
Yeah, it's 3 dB of missions now, more missions.
Huh.
So it was quite a good thing to have, actually. You ought to put one on yours.
Yes, I think might just do
You
that.
were just a bit of wire stuck into the emitters.
Oh, that's what yours used to be, but then again you had superpower missions, so it didn't matter.
I could spill power everywhere. Actually, it's amazing they're home so well. I'll just look out the window, see if it is them or not. No, I suppose it must be. It couldn't be many other people. But yeah. Anyway, those whatever adjustments you've made up to that sievers nut have been worthwhile, because I think this is about the worst I've heard you in.
Quality and signal strength.
Well, that's very good. Let's get onto a track. What we were talking about before I went down to tune up the missions. I plumb forget.
I said something about BWI missions being a pain.
Oh yes, that's right. Now you're doing the cast tomorrow, are you? And you don't like doing the cast.
It's just that tomorrow's a little bit...
You've got a busy schedule.
Yes, I'm a bit busy this week.
We'll get somebody else to do it.
I can't now.
No.
I mean, I wouldn't mind, except they have other things.
Yeah. I don't usually listen to it. I usually wake up, stick a set on, and then go back to sleep. Then listen to it maybe next week if I get around to it.
Next year.
Yeah.
When you go through the sets and then you're looking for a blank set and you think, oh, I hadn't listened to that before.
Usually after a week, it's such stale news you don't bother listening to it anyhow.
Look, I've got 2 items of news. That's all I've been given so far. 2 items.
Now, what can you do for an item?
Well, I've got a few items that I've dug up from other places.
News
But
items.
people who read lots of magazines will know about them anyway.
Yes, this is it, isn't it? Yeah.
Did you see the picture in... You read EA, didn't you? I bought one to read all about the Super Nordmandy
Is that how you pronounce it? Nordmandy?
City mission.
Ah, yes.
It looks so simple, how it works.
Yeah. Little monkey in there who draws pictures of the frames.
Yes. But, what was I going to say? Oh, yes, did you see the picture of a certain radio station in Sydney?
Yes.
And it had little Revoxes, but did you see what else it had? It had spots.
Spots in the wall.
Spots in the wall.
Actually, there are CT80s in the wall, but still.
Fully automatic.
Let's hope they
missions.
don't get licensed machine.
Look, they've been asking for a license for about a year. They built the studio just so they could say, oh, look, we've got the studio, we want the license now. They didn't go around it the other way. They didn't ask for the license first, then build the studio.
They can use a studio
I thought
anyhow.
they'd force it, yeah, all the stripes being hired out for EA missions. It's a good thing it is, otherwise it'd be just going to waste.
That's
All
right.
that money they would have spent on it.
Be quite a good studio, actually, I suppose.
they're going to have a middle-of-the-road format. They've already decided and they haven't got the licence yet.
That's right, yeah. Well, that'd be good having one of the... Well, I suppose it'd be good, but I suppose it'd have a few connotations on their missions.
Yes, it'd be like those terrible advertisements you see on television for them all the time that drive you around the
from a certain association. I suppose it'd make those things now.
Yes. Yes, there's one... I haven't seen one of those that's entertaining. They're all annoying. You feel like putting your foot through the sievers.
Yeah. Are there many ads that are B&W still?
About one every 30 or 40.
Really?
Really, it gets to the point now where you just sit down in front of the sievers and you see nothing but...
Yeah, it's so it's all colour missions now.
Yeah, you get to the point where you just sit down in front of the sievers most of the time, or when I'm watching anyway, and there's nothing but colours.
Late at night they show old movies and stuff, don't
that's
they?
the only time.
Green movies.
Green tinges. So sometimes it's either because it's an extremely ancient ad, or some companies made an ad really cheaply, on the cheap. They can't afford colour missions.
Yeah. I wonder, well, when you consider, to us, like here, we couldn't care whether it's in colour or not. So really, I don't know what the percentage of colour sievers is now.
Nearly 25. That means nearly a quarter of all households have
It's incredible, isn't
coloured sievers. So it's getting to the point now where colourtising is beginning to take effect. So they
colourtising. Although for the people who haven't got colour, it doesn't really make much difference.
No, that's right.
I suppose if they're trying to promote a product to the lower socio-economic group, they have to have it in black and white because they couldn't afford a colour sievers, although often those people do get a colour sievers.
Let's say in a survey that's been done, it's been found that no particular class, it's spread evenly.
Really?
From the very poorest to the very richest. Very richest, if there's any such word. Anyway.
That's good. I bang this gong, and I can put it close to the mic. Because it's a compressor... go ahead.
Oh, what was I going to say? Oh, yes, it doesn't matter. A lot of people who don't make very much money at all have them.
Yeah.
But it sort of isn't really a rich man's thing, kind of thing.
Oh, that's interesting, I suppose. I certainly wouldn't be I'd be spending my money on other things before a colour sievers, that's for sure, since I don't watch it very much.
But then you'd start watching it.
I don't know, really.
Well, I must admit...
I'd only start watching things I'm interested in watching. I'd still prefer to do other things.
But you sit there and watch to see how much grains you can see in films and things. It's getting to the point where I sit down in front of it and just get finicky about it.
Yeah, you do a quality analysis.
Instead of just being tamed by it.
Oh, that's like...
It's a bit bad when that starts happening.
Sit down, listen to a chord, and you start to
analyse the quality of it.
He says, he did bad mixing here, the mixing's terrible, out of balance, and then that's apart from just technical faults, and then you've got to turn it off and discuss because it's not good enough.
That's right, yeah. You should just sit down and be entertained rather than just start analysing things.
Yes, lising things.
Liza Minnelli.
Yeah, I must admit, I suppose it would be fun. You can actually see grain in film, can you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it depends on the film.
Yeah.
So there's one commercial for Pinoclean, which is so bad it's unbelievable.
You mean the grain?
Yeah.
Maybe they spilt Pinoclean on the print.
Look, at the end they freeze it. Obviously it's been done over on videotape or something, because there's super treble on the sound.
Oh, yes.
And at the end it's frozen. They sort of zero in on this bottle of stuff, and all the grain suddenly stops still.
Oh, I
so
see.
it's not as if it's a technical fault of any telecine equipment or anything.
Maybe they use bad quality, low quality film or something.
But it's so prominent, you can see it sitting back miles from the sievers even.
Gee, that's quite amazing.
hope they're not going to... Oh, yes.
Who's that?
Do you hear a ding from the tram?
No. Hey, you mean they might be listening in the tram?
There was big arguments in the tram then, I think.
It's a tram man.
Hey, Mr. Tram Man.
Yeah, well, that's very exciting then. Colour sievers. They're getting very cheap now.
Yes.
So-
Black and white sievers are getting even cheaper because they can't sell them.
That's right.
They can sell portable ones, they can't sell big ones.
No,
People don't want them anymore.
You can buy a second-hand one for about $2. But
you can buy, full-size black and white sievers now. Places are flogging them off, for about 170, 180 or so.
when you consider for 500 you can get a colour, no wonder, really.
Yeah, that's right. People just...
I mean,
the market for big black and white sievers isn't there anymore because if the old one goes bad, they just either buy a colour one or a little portable.
That's right.
Black and white one.
Well, if what was I going to say? I forget what I was going to say. But does any firm still make console model black and whites?
No. Look, you know those 3-in-1 things.
Yeah.
Nobody makes them anymore.
That as well.
And most firms have only one model of big black and white sievers, and some firms don't have any black and white siever models anymore. They just have stock which they're selling.
They're trying to.
They have no particular intention of making them anymore.
Yeah, they could just sell colour sievers with tubes that had gone wrong and turn them into black and white.
Yes.
Yes, it'd be quite a good idea. Crossband 6 metres FM to 160 metres AM.
Once upon a time there used to be millions of models of...
There was low boys and high boys and wide boys. Don't know what they all meant, but...
That's right.
Yes.
No, they're all the same shape and all got the crummy sound quality.
That's right. They all have those little 2-inch speakers in TVs now. You don't get the big boom sound they used to have.
So you have to run landlines from ancient sievers down to beside the normal sievers.
That's
to
right.
get super sound.
Because the old sievers had super boom and super treble missions, nothing much in between, so it sounded really good, boosted sound.
Yes.
But that's very good. What do you think? Is there better definition on videotape than on telecine stuff?
Now it's interesting. Look, I was watching Countdown tonight. Yes.
Terrible.
And they had a thing from Britain on, some interview that's been filmed over there, and they showed it, and the definition was unbelievable.
How do you know it was on film and not telecine?
You see,
video.
You see, black line raunch things.
Oh, yeah, obviously. Like you can't.
So you can't get rid of them.
Yeah, if you have your fingerprint or scratch your videotape, it doesn't have quite the same effect.
No.
Unfortunately, because I do add to the missions.
And look, you couldn't see any grain on it. The definition was unbelievable, and it was better than when they went to the live Australian stuff in the studio.
Yeah. I think it's all to do with various systems. It's a handling and how good the original is and all this sort of jazz, really.
So I don't think it was telecine in Australia. I think they turned it into a videotape in Britain and sent it out.
So you mean it's our telecine operators in Australia that are at fault?
Yes. Channel 2 Melbourne have an odd sort of bluish tinge about them.
They're telecine. Well, you know who to get in contact with?
I suppose I must know. Whenever there's something blue there, it always comes out a funny blue. It's never... You never get deep blues. It's always... Ugh. And it's not there when they show films on the news that come from Sydney or something. It's all right. But not from Melbourne.
So it appears that the person in charge of telecine in Melbourne isn't doing a good job.
I think it might be just equipment.
Could be. But who has the best quality then?
Overall?
Yeah.
hard to say because Channel 7 has, it looks like grain on all their films all the time, but I think it's just noise on their machines somehow.
Oh, I see.
It's not very obvious.
It could be your receiving station.
No, because it's not there on anything that's
live
live or videotape. It's only there on films. And also, it tends to get a bit streaky on Channel 7 sometimes, on films. You know, if there's a really deep red, it sort of goes grainy looking. Channel 9 varies a bit. You don't get much tremendous definition on Channel 9.
Really?
Channel O. Channel O's got the best definition on telecine, but the colours are all wrong sometimes. I don't know whether they just don't adjust them.
It's the video spot master.
And Channel 7, Channel O's live camera's shocking.
Because they got all their stuff early, didn't they?
Yes, that's probably why it's so bad. See, when they show something that's come from Sydney, it looks alright, but when they show something that's live local, it looks...
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't look horrible, but you can see things wrong.
Well, your TV must have a response up to quite a few megs then.
It would have to have.
Well, at least up to 4.3 megs.
Yes. Whether all of that goes onto the screen or not, it's a bit hard to tell.
Yes.
I don't think it can, actually. You need one of these super projection screen TVs which give 1,000-line definition.
How you get 1,000-line definition on a system that's only 625 lines?
I don't think it quite works that way.
Well, you've got horizontal lines.
Yes.
The vertical lines.
You can only get 625 horizontal lines.
Yeah, but you can get more vertical.
That's right. Because of all the picture elements there.
Yes.
But a normal service is limited by the number of dots on the screen or slots or...
Well, how many dots does an ordinary screen have?
I wouldn't have a clue.
Well, how many streaks has yours got?
I've never sat there and counted them. It's a bit hard to.
You got up to 2.5 million and messed it all up.
Yes.
I forgot.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to.
Well, that's the most interesting. I was going to think about something else now. You haven't exhausted that topic.
Black and white receivers would be good if they put colour TV IFs in black and white receivers.
You get super nittions.
Super nittions, but they don't, of course, because they're black and white receivers that don't care about the IF. What a shame.
Although ours has got pretty good nittions, I must admit. It sort of, you can almost see colour information there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's with the contrast turned up, so it's super contrasty.
It's either black or white, nothing in between.
Yeah.
And the whites tend to go all blur in the corners.
Yeah. That can go like that, yeah. Yes, it certainly can. Certainly is.
If you turn the contrast on our receivers, at the top edge it tends to widen out a bit.
Oh, I see.
And you shouldn't do that.
Why not?
Well, it shouldn't. It becomes a bit unlinear at the top. With the contrast turned up full, but if you have it at a more reasonable level, it's almost perfect. Not quite perfect, but almost.
Oh, I see. That sounds very interesting indeed.
Anyway, enough of this topic. I went through Caulfield Racecourse today. I saw a great big hole.
Oh,
they must be digging the pipes or something.
Putting a tunnel there for people to walk through.
Pipe tobacco.
So they can walk under the course while the races are going.
I'm sure there was another tunnel that goes under there already.
Not a walk tunnel, though. I don't think. Yeah? Oh, there isn't, is there?
I know there's a tunnel that goes under that street outside, Derby Street, whatever it's called. Because I remember... Oh, no, I better not go into that.
What do you remember?
I was over there one night for exploration missions. Anyway, we won't...
Now, I used to do lots of exploration missions in the race course, and you think it was rather scary because you thought you might just get beaten up.
Yes, I wasn't very impressed actually, but we're going around the grandstands and things, and there's these long stairs that went underground, and you kept going, and there was a fence at the other end, so they couldn't keep going through, but it went to the car park on the other side.
Really?
under the road.
Gee, that's good. Because there's
But I've only
often...
ever been in there about twice at night, and I don't think I'd want to be in there at night.
There's often undesirable characters in there. Because
Right.
they smash the light so you can't see anything.
And swing on them till it falls off.
How is it some of them just all just hanging down their wires? They've all been bashed and smashed. And they don't even bother replacing them now. They just let them sit there and rust.
The elaborate twirly
Twirly.
architectural lights.
Actually, I remember the last time I was in there at night was when we were doing kite flights with the long.
That's right, yes. Yes, I went in that time, then the time before we went in with the long to see what seedings would be like. Oh no, to try his kite out or something, middle of the night. And the only other time I've been in there at night is the exploration night.
Exploration missions at night.
I've been up the top of those green things. They don't seem very stable.
Don't they?
No.
It's amazing how much you can walk around there. I used to often go up to those green things and have looks around the city on
You
hot
can
summer's mornings.
You can see quite a distance. In
You
those
can,
green
yeah.
things.
Actually, if you live next to them, you can do missions from there. Actually, we should have done missions from there. You could load up
Run
on
a
those.
wire up the side, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, they're only about 40 feet high.
One of them's not too bad.
That's the double-story one.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That one's pretty high. The others aren't quite as good.
No. But that's where Joe Brown sits with his binoculars and does missions, right?
I wonder how many years it has been since they have done that. I think the stewards sit up there or something, don't they?
Yeah, I think it's just purely for stewards to sit up
So go and sit up there.
and put
Oh,
their...
no, sorry.
Yes.
But it looks like we get a little microphone holder there, doesn't it?
I think it's a binoculars holder.
Yes,
but
so
still.
do I.
Look, you could make one of those into a booth. You could have the bottom one for your missions and the top one, and put
The
them into,
missions.
and put glass around the open part, and have a little Peter booth there, so you could do 160-metre missions up on top of your antennas,
That's right.
and load your antenna upside down. You know. That's the one you got to walk up on top of that
Sort of,
concrete
yes,
house.
That's right, yes. And then you keep going up the stairs. You get steeper and steeper, and you think, ooh, I might just fall.
I know somebody who
did?
threw a TV down from there.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, some Americans, they had this old TV, so they had to unscrew the legs and take it up to the top of the top story.
That must have been pretty hard to do, actually.
Very hard. They reassembled it up there, and it went down. Yes.
And landed on top of the house, or what?
No, it landed on the grass on its four legs. It
Did it all
exploded. It goes.
It did explode.
It went.
What a pity nobody took a film of it.
Yes.
It could
Yeah.
have been quite amusing.
Well, it was late at night for obvious reasons. But
Did you see a flash or anything?
no, just all this dust sort of came out of the tube and
Phosphor.
yes. So it was quite an interesting thing to hear about happening. Not that I was there,
No.
but
I remember I took a Ken up there once.
yes. Did you get good missions?
Oh, yes, exceptionally good.
You could run coax from your place to one of those for a tennis.
It's so good in the middle of that place because there's no interference.
Look,
Well, not as much.
it's like being in the middle of a desert, isn't it? Because, well, you see all the houses, you'd be about half a mile from the nearest house, and all those street lights are all wrecked because they've been bashed by hoods. They've got stone guards, but they've been bashed anyway, and you can sit there and do missions and seedings.
You do still some interference, but it's not anywhere near as bad there as it is anywhere else around the
It
place.
would be a good place to put a tennis, actually. A communal tennis, as we were talking about the other night. A communal tennis in 160-metre mitters in the middle of the race course. And you dial it up and pay your fee and use it.
What happens if you dial it up and somebody's using it?
Well, the
The
relay.
engaged thing?
Yeah, beep, beep, beep.
VK3.
Yes, it'll be a bit hard to get used to it.
Sunday morning it'd be fun. Everybody would be dialing it at once.
That's right. You get continuous blur emissions coming out of it.
Yes.
VK3 ASN 160 metres AM, working VK3
Ooh.
BK 6 metres FM crossband.
Lights just did a dim.
They didn't hear. It's very windy.
Is it?
It is, yes. But, yeah, that's very good, the race course. So, I've been there when there was races once. I went down the Caulfield Cup, actually.
Yeah?
Hmm.
The only time I've ever been there at the Caulfield Cup is to stand on the fence and go home and watch yourself on the seavers. Flap your arms around and go home and watch yourself.
What, can you really see yourself?
You know, up along the back they use a really long lens.
Yeah.
It's to get pretty close up to the horses, so the horses fill up the whole screen.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't quite what I was going to say. If they had to keep a still mode out, the picture would be rocking all over the place because of the tremendous magnification there must be in
They
the
must
lens.
have a good lens.
Because they could still, you know, perfectly good pictures from, well, it'd be more than half a mile away.
Yeah.
Anyway, you stand up along the green fence along the back, in one of the openings, and you flap your arms, wave your arms around, and you go home and see yourself.
Really? Can you see yourself very good?
Well, you can't really tell who it is. You can see yourself quite perfectly otherwise.
You know those houses there that always get
On the screen.
ratings?
Yes.
If you lived in one, you could put a sign up every day and advertise
That's
how
right.
many emissions you're going to have that night, and you could put him at the horses, and you could do light beam missions through the TV networks, and they replay the races, and people could put a light beam receiver up against the TV screen and hear what you've got to say while the race is going on.
Yes. Oh, I don't know about that.
I like it the way they have that racing music in the background while he's yelling at the horses, you know, while giving the...
What's that on Channel 2?
Yeah.
They used to have that in Channel 7, but they've given up.
I think it gives a good atmosphere, this
Well-
racing music.
World of Sport used to be hilarious because they used to have that sort of music for everything. All during football things. They'd have these slow motion football films, and they'd have all this Sousa marching music.
I don't know what it's got to do with sport, but
Oh, just gives it effect.
yeah. Talk about music in the background, those Hardy missions you had. I like the music they have in the background
Yes.
of all the thing.
This is quite funny.
And look, it was going through your compressinator, and when they stopped talking, the music was as loud as that they...
Yeah, I was listening off here.
And how was the horn at the start? And you hear the first bit of the blurb of the horn distorts, then it goes down in gain, then he takes his hand off the horn, and Stan, you can hardly hear Stan for about 2 minutes as it slowly comes up, then you hear blurb again.
Yes.
But the compressor is quite unfortunate for that type of missions.
Yes, it is a bit.
But that sort of music in the background, I think, does add to it. It's,
Da 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 da.
Yeah.
Yes.
and, but some of those cuts were so hilarious.
Yes, Mr.
Yes, Mr. Jones? Yes, certainly, certainly is.
Yes. Mr. Jones again. And you hear, hey, Ali. That was me on the phone. You hear, Mr. Jones, huh? And you hear all this yelling and the compressor has this
That's right.
just bashing on the door and everything.
Actually, that compressor is really halfway between a compressor and an AGC, really. It sort of doesn't know what it's supposed to do. The monkey must be quite
A bit slow, a
Yeah.
bit old. A bit worn out, we'll have to go and buy a new one. New valve monkey.
But,
I
yeah.
like the ice cream one.
Oh, yeah. I had it going downstairs, actually. Had it through the big missions downstairs, and... Actually, listening to it, the normal voice was soft, was quite a few dB below the background missions.
Was it?
When they stopped talking.
I didn't notice it that
No,
bad.
the compressors, it certainly was. It gave a good effect, because you could hear all the background music. This is a tape that the Beck lent me. And That was coming through quite well.
I could go for a dish of ice cream. We haven't got any ice cream. Well, you could go and get some.
Look, the way they carry on, it's so... it's just so hilarious, isn't it? It's quite typical of some people.
Yes, it is.
If I had a lot of money, I'd buy all the Alan H... Yeah, and show them every night.
On your Nord Mindy.
Actually, on your Pyrox Victor. They'd all get wrecked as they go through, but...
Yes, that's one thing about those things. It uses capstans.
Mm.
It doesn't use the sprocket holes or anything. So it doesn't go for a wreck.
I'll just close this door missions here, so we won't have fish having... Although they can't really spew because they can... I'll close this door. Yeah. If they start to have a spew, I'll just threaten to stay here the next month. Hear a plane flying close by here?
Yes, I do.
It certainly is. But those hardy ones are hilarious. I haven't seen good hardy missions for a long time.
I don't show them anymore for some reason.
Pity. They were built for comedy, that's the idea.
That's right, yes.
They weren't meant to be serious in any respect. And, yes.
I still remember that stupid one, the football comes down the stairs and the bashes that bloke on the head.
I like the one with the carting the grand piano up the stairs.
On those concrete stairs, yeah.
Because he knew it eventually would have to go all the way down and wreck. But they're very old, yeah. About, what are they, 39 or something vintage?
Yeah, 30s, but not long after sound was invented.
Yeah, because the sound is rather... Well, it's quite good for them.
It's acceptable.
Yeah. Pity you could never hear their voices in hi-fi.
No.
But,
well.
Well, I guess it's all very good indeed. But just as well they weren't a few years older, otherwise we wouldn't be able to hear them. Well, like when you look at those, things haven't changed all that much, have they, really? They don't... Well, they maybe look a bit dated, but they don't look as dated as they really are.
What do you mean?
Those old L&H...
What do you mean?
Well, if you look at them on TV or something...
Oh, yes, yes.
They don't look as... You don't think, gee, this must be ancient. Unless they show a car or something.
Yeah, when they show cars and things. But the humour is no different.
Yeah.
It's not like some of these old films where the humour's a bit weak.
Yes. As well as everything else.
There hasn't been anything like them since then. You'd think that they'd try, wouldn't you?
You'd think so. I think they were really... No, there hasn't been, really. They've tried to be, but they've worked out sick.
Yes. Like Abbott and Costello.
Yes, they're pretty ancient anyhow.
Can't say I enjoy them very much.
Not me either. Oh, the Gleason was quite funny.
Yes, but he was a one-man person.
Yes.
Except for Ralph.
Ralph! He was quite funny. Well, he wasn't funny, but he did. Yes, anyway, we better get onto a technical subject because we haven't talked about anything technical at all night. All we've been doing is talking about matters that recourse to the public telecommunication system would not be justified.
That's right.
So really it's just as...
I wouldn't write you a letter about all this. I'll give you a phone call to tell us to see you.
I mean, really this is just as legitimate as talking about...
Some people talk about how their wheat crop's going to go this year.
Yeah.
Some people talk about how the sewer... People are digging up the front yard to put the sewer pipe in. Well, we talk about Laurel and Hardy.
Yes. Yeah.
So there.
Wouldn't it, to 6 metres FM, the amount of technical conversation is fairly...
Low.
Yes. Yes, fairly low.
And it usually doesn't extend much beyond what your antennas are.
That's right, yeah.
Actually, I get a bit sick of hearing that because...
I'm going to make up a spot. So So somebody you haven't worked before, you press this button, it tells you about the tenors and the emitters and what power you're on and all this sort of thing, so you can continue clean up the room or something while you got your contact going. But if it didn't re-cue, it'd be a bit embarrassing.
Or you turn it off halfway through.
Yes.
The time before, and it comes on and goes inverted L, and then you hear, oh.
Or you play the wrong one. Beep. And it's the theme to the country hour or something. Yes.
Do you know what they'd say after that?
What's this?
Oh, hang on, it's not queued up. Hang on. We'll get it. Here, it doesn't take long.
He turned his missions off.
What you into? A nice man.
Do you have to
Mess
queue?
you've gotten me into.
Do you have to queue up on air? It is a bit unfortunate having to do that.
Yes, it is actually, but unfortunately the hoses are used somewhere else, queuing hoses.
Why don't you get a mixer with a Q channel?
Because it'll probably get RFP.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, time. We've got to give time calls, don't we?
Yes, it's 9.5 minutes.
Is it really? Gee, that's good. Because we did get indications that people listen in bed and they want to hear what the time is so they can think it's so late and turn off. So just give a time call 2 hours earlier and they go, oh yes. But when they wake up they wonder why they're so tired.
Yes.
Or they reset their clock. And,
I still don't have to get up quite as early tomorrow as I...
but you do have to get up early, which is a pain.
Mm.
Walk into the halls of BWI.
And sit there and get bored.
You could completely record your contact, your program, and just give a set to the engineer. Who's the engineer?
For long.
How did he become an engineer?
Because he sang a song, I want to be an engineer, my friend.
Did he? Oh, I see. I suppose he has the relevant credentials.
Oh, yes.
I haven't heard much of him since he came back from Tasmania.
Oh, he's been around, like a record.
Has he?
Oh, apparently not anymore.
Hmm.
But we won't go into this because I know it happens every time I make comments. The next day I get told off.
Well, what's he, well, is he given up this light beam business?
I wasn't talking about the light beams.
Oh, you mean other things?
Interesting.
Yeah. Under the auspices of coming to test out light beams, but in actual fact it was... But I thought that had finished quite some considerable months ago.
No.
You mean he's still trying to
I was.
attract the attention of... Imagine the long...
I can imagine tomorrow morning won't be very good if he's listening. I'll be spewed at for
Hang on, I'll just see if we've got competition. No,
We
we're right.
haven't, no.
Full ratings. I'm running my missus at full ratings.
Yeah.
Commercial.
McNair, Anderson, Graf will go have a peek now.
Yes,
Had a dip last week, unfortunately.
it did. Very, very big dip last
Although
week.
we thought it did, but it didn't.
Actually, often ratings are more... Well, of course, I think a lot of people are turned off by the intellectual, pseudo-intellectualism of the branch.
Well, I'm sure that would have gone down well, like a cup of bad coffee at the branch KDH.
But no, I think a lot of people aren't in the mood to listen to people such things as but what things they discuss? Well, you know how they discuss these nebulous subjects.
They do. What about that?
Yeah, but at least everybody knows.
What
well,
we're talking about.
Yeah, they know who we're knocking in.
Such a base form of conversation.
Exactly. But what are we going to talk about this?
Hello.
Hello there.
Oh, we're back again.
You are back, are you?
Yes.
Right,
Just turn the microphone off.
Just stand by.
That's sort of some Yes.
But just getting rid of some undesirable things from this hand side.
What for? And
Yeah, I know what's on now. There, please.
no, I haven't.
There's one hang on. There's one upstairs and one downstairs, which is a good idea.
So they can make a TV program there with a TV camera, can they? Upstairs, downstairs, yeah.
Certain things have to be erased from this Hansard, but any objections, send your telegram to VK3BEK.
Been given a fright there.
To VK3BEK.
Well, how are you going to town in the morning? Well, how are you going to town in the morning? Well, how are you going to town in the morning?
To VK3BEK.
How are you going to town in the morning? Well, how are you going to town in the morning? Well, how are you going to town in the morning? Well, how are you going to town in the morning? Well, how are you going to town in the morning? How are you going to town in the morning?
Hang on.
Yeah, well, what was actually the reason they didn't, well, the person wasn't particularly impressed in the activities?
You mean the L and the M?
Oh, anyway, I might just...
You mean C, the L and N, the E?
No, I don't mean that at all. But anyway, we've got... Yes. Oh, you should have left your emissions on during then. It might have been entertaining. But you often do come up with things that really aren't suitable for transmission on this frequency. So I think in future you had better just think about what you're going to say, because some of these things.
When you say that, when you think about what you're going to say,
you don't say anything.
Right. Yes, my level's gone down. My relative level has declined rapidly.
Oh, I don't think it has. Say something.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, maybe mine's gone up, I don't know.
No, yours is so the same.
We won't worry. Hang on, we've got no recordings now. Why is that? Oh, it's coming through now. It's a very bad switch on that thing.
It's not fixed.
It's not fixed now. Hello, 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 hello. Test, hello, test. Okay, this is a crossband contact. 160 metres AM, 6 metres FM. How are you going to go in the morning? That was a question you asked.
Pardon?
Oh, don't worry. Yeah, so that's...
How am I going to go in the morning?
Yes.
Have a guess.
Tram.
No.
Tram to Sydney.
Flying tram? No.
Train?
No.
Car emissions. Whose car?
Fishes.
What are you going to drive it in yourself? Oh, it should be fun, I suppose. You would want to have a smash missions.
I had to play taxi driver all day today.
Yeah?
Because my brother wanted to be taken somewhere. And
Yeah, that must be it's quite a high quality car, that fish car of yours.
But the Seavers is no good. Look. The Seavers, there's a hole in the speaker and it all rattles and it's so distorted. You have to take along a transistor Seavers to listen.
Oh, I see. I thought they had a good Seavers, those type of cars.
Well, it would be if the speaker wasn't wrecked.
Because they're getting quite old, that model now, but at 1959 model or something, or 62 or something.
Yes, I think it's a bit after 59 somehow.
But they didn't really sell too well in this area.
They weren't exactly suitable for Australian conditions.
They fall to bits too quick. They do. I have found.
Not like the old... What was the one you had before? Austin, was it?
No, I had a console, which is
Console, that's right.
relation really to that one that you've got.
Yes.
But
Oh, no, it was to the model before that.
yeah, it was, but still the same style of garbage. Built for English condition, so it falls to bits.
Isn't that interesting, the way English... You just don't have imported English cars anymore.
Oh, well, there's a reason
10 years
why.
ago,
Mm.
or up to 10 years ago, a lot of the cars were English imports like those and Austins and all this sort of thing.
Yes.
These days, virtually nothing.
I think they've found to make things go in Australia, they've got to either be designed or at least modified for Australian conditions.
That's right.
Because you drive up Sydney Road, Coburg, and they're just flat to bits, so it's English cars.
Yes.
I found all the doors fell off mine, and the wheels rattled, and they're just all
The doors fell off it.
they jammed and wouldn't open. And
You were listening to a doors.
The doors.
in it,
yes,
and the speaker fell off.
speaker fell off.
Well, you said you were listening. You said the doors fell off.
Are they still around, the doors?
I don't know.
I must admit, I didn't like them very much. They had about 2, 3,
Yeah, there
4
were
good songs.
Two good songs. The rest weren't very good. Not that I remember very much of them, to be honest.
A bit before your time.
It was a little bit. I think it was before the time I had my own Seavers. I used to think about how good it would be if I had my own crystal Seavers. So I went and bought one at Theobald's one Saturday morning for $2 and sat there in the sun all afternoon connected to the drain pipe listening to boring programs on 3LA, but I thought it was so good because it was my first Seavers. I'd listen to anything on it.
Well, what time was the Doors in big thing? Were the doors open? About 66 or something.
I think it was a little bit before that.
Yeah. There's all this obscure stuff that I
They sang a
often...
distorted 45 version of Light My Fire, I think.
Mm, yeah. Oh, some of their stuff was good. Most of it was bad.
Was it the Doors? I might have been... What was that other group? Funny names. Group.
Well,
I've forgotten their name. Oh, well, never mind. So many of them you don't know.
all obscure. They've all gone now. The Doors.
Gone mentally. Oh.
Yes. They've gone that because of certain things they...
Certain items that they tend to frequent.
Yes.
Items which get the approval of certain parties that won't be mentioned.
Certain parties that are on this frequency sometimes. And, But, although, there's a certain person who apparently approves of that type of thing anyhow.
Who's that?
We're not going to mention any names, are we? Otherwise we might get...
No, I might just get busted.
things just might break. The missus just...
Sewing machines might just fall to bits.
It'll be sewing so fast.
No, the zigzag stitches. We'll have to go and get a new motor tomorrow.
You're here tomorrow. Well, I've got to leave, chaps. I've got to go to the warehouse and get a new motor. Their sewing machine.
I was so abhorred last night. I don't know if any of you heard it or not.
But to my mind, it's disgusting. I've never heard this from any other state.
It seems to be a thing of VK3.
If people want to talk like this, why don't they just go into a room and carry on? They think the world wants to hear it.
Well, if the world wants to hear it, we'd be on 20 metres.
Well, look, let's QSY down to 20. I wonder what would happen if you were doing a contact like this in the middle of
20.
DX. Can you imagine people, these Yanks tuning across and hearing this?
Conversations about flying trains.
Because they wouldn't get any sense out of it because they don't know anything about trams or.
No, it's purely local. You have to live in Melbourne or even in Caulfield to understand.
Exactly. That's why the sewing machine doesn't think it's funny because we should get some correspondence from other suburbs.
Yes. But see, a lot of people don't have a ride on trams.
Mm. Yes.
The sewing machine wouldn't because there's no trams out that far.
Or up to the top of the.
Up to the top of Mount Dandenong. Imagine a tram going up Mount Dandenong.
It'd take about a week.
Hang on, is this my exit?
Look, it'd be quite hilarious, wouldn't it? This tram.
There's still the smell of burning oil.
Yeah, it's stirring its way up the thing. But it's quite a possibility the sewing machine could be listening because he said he often listens quite late at night. So
when he asks other people if they were listening, he says, I don't know if you were listening.
And they never make any comments because they...
No, he has his spew and nobody ever says anything more except the cunning...
The Foxman.
Foxman.
And often the coat of arms does too.
All the Foxman says is how bad it is.
Yeah. The cunning sometimes says he might make a phone call. What that's supposed to mean, I don't know, but...
Not make a phone call.
Wow. But,
what is it, such a big event for him that he has to let everybody know what's going on here? Oh, must be a car going by your place.
Just going past your place now.
Yeah, he could be listening, so if the sewing machine is listening, we'd like to wish you a very good buttonhole. And,
remember, if you want a use... No, you don't watch...
Yes. Have the idea this contact is going downhill rather rapidly declining.
Let's put it back on the rails. Talk about something of... Oh, the fish and chip shop clock has been fixed.
You mean it doesn't buzz?
Doesn't buzz.
That's a pity.
I went in there tonight and he goes, Eagles. How does he say it?
What, you bought some fish and chips?
I bought some dried out fish and chips, yes.
They are crisp, but that's only because they've been in a desiccator all day.
Look, when you go to a restaurant and you have whiting or something properly done.
Yes, doesn't taste anything like what they
And then you go to the fish and chip shop, you certainly notice the difference.
Look, all those fish, that fish shop serves is just batter.
That's right.
And
the fish inside's so overcooked and dried out, it's probably been in there 20 million years.
Yeah. It's rather incredible how much batter they do stuff on those things, obviously trying to save on expenses because batter's cheaper than fish. And it's not a cheap meal now.
No, it's gone up very quickly in price.
And also, they say, such and such is the minimum price of chips.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and bought a fair amount of fish one day and said I'll have 20 cents worth of chips. And he says, 30 cents is the minimum. And I sort of looked at him and said, look, I've just bought $1 worth of fish. What do you make of it? And he said, anyway, eventually he came around to my point. But I think if you've already bought other things, you should be able to buy as much or as little chips as you want.
Yes. Once upon a time, you used to be able to make a meal out of 5 cents of chips. You could go and get 5 cents of chips and that would keep you occupied for 10 minutes eating them.
Yes.
But now, you have the minimum order and potato cakes at 5 each. And they're getting thinner.
Are they?
And, actually, I don't think the price of the fish has gone up that much, but the other things, the sundry items, have.
Yeah, and if they've fixed up the clock, well, that's something we don't have anymore, isn't it?
What a shame. What a haber shame. And, yeah.
Oh, it's a bad state of affairs. It really is,
Because we went over, when we went for a walk around the racecourse this afternoon, went through the park where they were playing football, and somebody kicks a goal, it goes up in the tree. There's all these football people climbing up trees to try and get it, but they couldn't. So if anyone wants a free football, I can show you a tree where there's football in, and if you feel like climbing it,
You mean
you
a
can
brand,
get a brand new football.
brand new
Almost
match football?
Yes, a match football from the Hassets. Who made them? Sharon or Kangaroo or something?
I don't know.
Like the Kangaroo blackboard duster.
The kangaroo blackboard duster. Yeah, there must be a lot of those around. And you bash them and all the chalk dust comes out and makes you sneeze.
We had a visiting teacher recently who didn't know how to use a duster, and she was using the side with the label that said Kangaroo duster. It was going scrape, scrape, scrape on the board, and everyone was going and sort of laughing. She thought we were very rude because we were laughing at her, and she couldn't work out why.
That's rather a dull attitude to take if they don't know how to dust a blackboard.
Well, we thought it was hilarious.
I can imagine.
Of course, it's not so hilarious when fingernails get...
Everyone jumps out of their seats and...
when the chalk starts to get low, or it breaks.
Or it goes... Meow. Yeah, it's funny how some sounds are quite disconcerting. Hope we give out adequate call signs, because...
Oh, the time is 27.
Hang on, don't give it yet, no. Time check. Good.
Oh, I see.
Excellent. So anybody who has to get up for breakfast, there you are.
For breakfast at this hour?
Yes.
You'd be a bit stupid.
Oh, I don't know. I often have breakfast this hour. My plate current's jumping up and down. I think the tenors is blowing all
Blowing in the wind.
around.
The tenors, my friend, is blowing in the wind. Tenors is blowing in the wind. Anyway,
I took down our TV tenors the other day.
did you to give it a bash?
I just threw it away. It just sits up there banging, so I thought I'll throw it away. We don't use it. We use tenors on the mantelpiece. And
Wire tenors.
yeah, it works better than that silly looking spider thing up there. So we bent it down and it broke off, so I just threw it away. And so now we've got a
Has
house.
anyone noticed?
No, I don't think so, no.
Now you got a house without TV tenors.
Which is good, isn't it? Makes people think that we haven't got a TV. Which we haven't, of course.
Yes, you have.
But,
You realise only 4% of all households don't have a TV?
I reckon that's pretty poor. But it's good not to have one. I certainly wouldn't have one.
4%.
If I
I don't know of anybody who has not got a Seavers.
I know a few people who don't have Seavers.
Do you?
Yeah.
What,
It's-
people living on their own, I guess?
Oh, not necessarily. I think it's if I had a house, I wouldn't have it. Seavers would be the last thing I'd get hold of. I might get a TV Mitters, so I can come on and talk to the Harrison, and have press to look.
Who knows will
faculty.
be on tomorrow morning telling us about...
When is that going to start to be televised? There'll only be 5 viewers though.
Look, they keep on saying it's going to be soon. I don't know what's going on. Actually, for me, the later the better,
Yes.
as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, because you don't particularly want to
What?
be seen on
No.
the news.
Here is the news.
You don't have a little telephone when things go wrong.
And
Will
so
they-
the
will-
long can ring me up from the other side of the room.
Yeah, and you go, yes. Oh, righto. And, of course, they have to have telecine things. They can send it through the telecine machine and show film shots
Super
of the VHF meeting and all this.
Look, if they bought one of those things, that'd be perfect, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect.
They, they could make little...
You could just go out. You could have whoever was going to be the announcer could take a camera with them for the week or something,
and do...
or use their own.
Yeah.
If they had one, and make films and take them in there.
Actually, you wouldn't even need one of those. Just use, since it's only black and white, just stick a projector up on the screen and point the cheap cameras at that. That's the way that they'd do it anyhow.
I wonder what the results are.
and they'd-
Probably flickers and everything.
It probably would, yeah. Well, you'd have to have it synchronised, otherwise you get flick missions. And they'd-
You'd see line every second. There'd be a line go up and
That's
down
right.
the screen.
And if you had a sound projector, they'd just put this tinny microphone of the TV emitters up against the sound projector, and you'd hear this whirring noise and everything as well as and you just couldn't make of the voice.
Like the Harrison... Oh,
I thought that was hilarious.
that wasn't
Everyone's
hum noise, it was bzzz.
everyone's looking straight into the screen to see the Harrison and hear what he's saying. Then you see the door open, and the guy walks through.
Going from the other room.
Yeah.
I wonder if all the missions are as bad as that.
Well, actually, the video missions was
The
quite
video
good.
was alright, but the sound missions...
And when you consider it was
hopeless.
going a full 10 yards, it must have been funny, that guy who said he got someone, his neighbour, saw him on the TV. That'd be quite hilarious, really, wouldn't it? TV ference.
That's on the TV, yes.
You tune in between stations and you see this face there, the smiling Harrison face. And no, it has to be all echoey, doesn't it?
The Harrison face was the 4 o'clock shadow.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, the Harrison sort of sounds like the TV missions sound. Yes. All echoey, and you can't quite make of it. Then you hear. I'll now pass over. We'll now have a view of someone else, and you hear this noise, and you see the spotlight points into the camera and burns the lens out for about 2 seconds.
You know, at the end,
Yeah, they
when
burnt
they
out
did that,
Yeah.
look, if nobody had told them, they'd be doing that for about 5 minutes, just completely ruin the tube. They'd have to throw it out and put a new one in.
That's right, yeah. Because when they turned it off, you could still see the image of the thing. What?
I just squeaked.
Yes.
Yes.
But, it's quite an entertaining way to spend an evening if there was nothing else going on.
Quite entertaining. Good for tainments.
Actually, it shouldn't have been tainment. It should be banned.
Look, because if you found watching ATV broadcasts entertaining, they shouldn't be on.
160 metres AM, 6 metres FM. That's right, yeah. You shan't have anything that's entertaining.
What a pity these Nord-Mendy people don't put out one that's black and white.
It'd be a lot cheaper, wouldn't it?
Oh, yes. Probably be able to buy one. So it wouldn't worry you, because most people's missus, I'm sure, wouldn't be able to put out colour anyway.
Yeah, they wouldn't have the bandwidth.
That's right.
Yeah, apparently it's very hard to get above about 2 megs bandwidth, from what they say. Looks like it too.
Yes. You see that test pattern, how many lines definition there is, about 1.
Yes. Plenty of contrast, but no definition. And people think contrast, if you've got lots of contrast, they think it's
That's enough.
definition. In fact, I think those pictures, if you looked at them closely, they're pretty bad. Even just off the video recorders, really. They leave a fair bit to be desired.
Of course, the video recorders mightn't have been that good.
No, it probably wasn't. Probably one of these ones from Sydney.
The ones at school don't look all that good,
Don't they?
except the new one, which looks tremendous.
Depends how it's set up and how it's operated, really.
Look, the new one, you can't tell the difference between broadcast off-air and the recorders.
Is it record colour?
Oh, yes.
It's a set one, isn't it?
Yes. Actually, they've got a reel-to-reel one as well,
Ah, yes.
which records colour at 7.5. Works better than the set one.
What speed does the set one go at?
I think they go about 5 3/8 or something
Oh, I
odd
see.
like that.
Yeah.
But the reel-to-reel one just looks perfect. It doesn't wreck the sound. Well, you can't really tell because it comes through the
2-inch speaker, TV
speaker. But
that have vibes when they go too loud.
all the colours are right and super definition. It's really good. I wonder how much it cost.
Only a school like that could afford it.
Oh, I
Schools
don't
that
know.
need that sort of equipment don't get that stuff.
Well, I don't know about that. I think you'll find Caulfield High have a few quarters floating around the place.
Well, I didn't when I was there. Mind you, that was...
Yeah, well, neither did our school. It's only been the past 2 or 3 years that schools started to get these things.
All they had was these Australian Sound TV stands with an Astor TV and a triangular speaker at the bottom all kicked in and ripped.
Hanging from the wall by one bracket. And the spiromatic antennas on the roof of it.
Spiromatic arrow.
I remember when they first came out, Channel O used to advertise them. So made by a company that's got something to do with Channel O.
What answers?
Was when they were building Channel O, do you remember this? That
I remember.
People took out a miner's right or something?
On their tenors?
And no, on the land. You see, at the moment, at school we're doing gold. In the syllabus, and we were told that apparently you can take out miners' rights, and when they were building Channel O studios in East Burwood, some people, university students from La Trobe, who didn't particularly like the gentleman who owns the concern,
Don't blame them, really.
took out a miner's right and started to mine on the place, and every time they put down foundations, they dig them up.
That's good.
But there was some court case or something.
They had to go to Elsmere Court. I remember looking when they were building the tenors on Mount Dandenong.
Mm-hmm.
We used to go up that way a bit, and you'd see every couple of weeks there'd be extra bits put onto the tenors until it was all built, nice, new, shiny tenors higher than the rest.
That
It
must
is a
have been
good
very
tenor.
interesting to see them actually put each bit up. I suppose they would have used a helicopter or something to lift it on there.
I don't know if they used a helicopter, but that's probably what they used. But it certainly is a good tenors. What I reckon would be a good thing to do to silence Channel O for a while. You get into their tenors thing and climb up the tower, right up the top, and stick your dummy
Of course, we know
load.
somebody who's done that.
Stick your dummy load where the coax goes into the tenors. And so they turn the mitters on, it all tunes up properly, but nobody can see the pictures. And of course their off-air monitor would look okay because they're so close, but nobody would be able to get any emissions, and they wouldn't know what's going on.
Channel 7 did a test on dummy load one day.
Yeah?
You could still see it.
How strong?
It was a bit grainy, but you could still make of it.
Like they probably only had about 10 watts going out instead of 2,000 or something, and it probably wouldn't make much difference, I guess.
Well, of course, from Mount Dandenong, even with the dummy load, from the top of Mount Dandenong, you expect, and the 10 kilowatt vision mitters, you expect some of it to get out.
Yeah, if say 10 watts radiated power would be quite...
It would probably be, I suppose it'd be about 10 watts. Would be able to get, you wouldn't get noise-free coverage, but in a lot of places you'd still be able to make the picture.
Yeah. In TV studios, do they have all the monitors off air? They're not, are they?
No, I don't think they are.
Not like radio studio. So you can't have off air, on air flashing things. Oh, you know at the red tennis place on the new panel, there's two little bulby things. One flashes on ovulations, and one flashes when the carrier fails.
Ah.
So you've got little indicator bulbs, so you can yell and see if it ovulates.
Well, how advanced is the panel? Is it put together, is it?
It's an aluminium panel. It's coming along. There are two big VU meters on it, like big proper VU meters.
But I thought they were going to use the ABC panel.
I know they're using bits of that, but they're redesigning their own panel, which is a good idea.
Yes.
They're using those slider Dana faders, not Dana patent faders, the quadrant ones. Should be very good indeed. Two big meters, and it looks quite well designed. The Bev face was filing some of it down when I went up there.
Why don't they do something about the tenors first?
What can they do when they're in that location? They can't make it higher unless they hire a helicopter for 2 hours a night.
Because they're going to run the tenors off across a few of those roofs, aren't they, eventually?
I don't know what they're going to do.
Because that's what the rag mission said. Ragtime.
Ragtime. Yes. They could just they could borrow the branch tenors.
It's a pity the branch doesn't get involved. I think he could fix the place up in quite a few departments, actually.
Oh, especially the plastering. The branch is too busy studying. A good evening branch up there at the Trobe studying missions, yes.
He's probably at Monash. Why does he still go to Monash?
Because it's
If
closer.
he doesn't go there anymore.
Well, look at it this way. It's about twice as close. And if he might as well go there to study than at La Trobe.
I'm surprised they allow you to walk around the place in the middle of the weekend. It's still all open and everything. Does this mean you can just walk in the place and...
Shh. Otherwise, people will be going up, walking through the place. But I think it means you can, yes.
I always thought they'd have a guard there, asleep at his desk.
Well, there probably is a guard, but he sees if you're a person
He
who
sees,
obviously
he
works.
goes, he sees the Jotmobile roll up.
He says, "Oh yes," and see this cloud of smoke coming out of the windows. He sees this cloud of smoke come up the corridor, and he says, "Ah yes, it's the Sandman coming to do studies. I'll let him in, otherwise the smoke will congregate around my office." So this whole pile of smoke comes out. The Jotmobile.
It reminds me of that stupid conversation we had about nearly 2 years ago or something. We were talking about the field day the branch went to. All these people looking at this car, coming on with a cloud of smoke sitting above it all the way.
That's right, with the agar in the car.
That's right. There's something about a door being bashed, you know.
The VK3
How that
AC
came
working
into it.
VK3 VK
But I remember
Crossband
that.
missions.
There must have been something funny about somebody's door being bashed in at the time.
Yes, must have been.
Like a brick through.
Yes, that must have been unfortunate, that. Yes. Very bad indeed. The Beck is killing himself laughing, so he's turned off his audio system to recover. Or maybe he's having fish spews, who knows? But one time we'll find
I
out.
wouldn't laugh about.
Not half. Either you've got a fault
I
in...
wouldn't laugh about such a matter. I think that's
Just as well we're not having art on TV, you'd have to put a blanket or pillow in front of the TV camera so you could...
yes, it'd be funny. When the fish walk in the room. Have to put your hand in front of the camera or something.
That's right, yes. Put a briefcase up. Briefcase pops up in front of the camera. Says, these missions will be resumed in a minute. Well, Hansard's about to finish, so he might terminate in about 5 minutes, I think. And then, I can't guarantee it, but I might be able to tee up a crossband contact.
I'll probably fall asleep during the middle of it.
Doesn't matter because, well, you've probably heard it 5 times before. What we'll do, we'll pause a moment, so if there's any other crossbands that'd like to come on, very good indeed. If not, or any other missions for that matter, if not, well, what's going on?
Yes. And so this contact has turned out to be just another silly contact.
Well, they can't be much else.
Has been,
Relatively interesting.
yes, compared with what they have been like locally, we haven't run out of things to talk about too much.
No, we haven't. There's been a bit of dead air, but with your car noise, nothing's dead air. Yeah. You must have tons of compressionation there.
I think it's just there's a fair bit of car noise in the room.
Yeah, since you live on a freeway.
It's wondered I'm not mentally disturbed. Well, I am.
I think you are. How long have you been occupying that front room?
Ever since I was born, almost.
In other words, you've been bombarded with noise from Glenhuntly Road.
And it's really bad in summertime. When
You have the window open, you hear.
You have the windows open
Where
and the
the
balcony
noise?
door open. And in the morning, the noise just wakes you up.
Yeah.
The summer holidays were going on a summer holiday. And you sit lying there in bed after you've been up doing crossbands till 5 in the morning. And 7 in the morning, there's all these cars rush by and trams going, bang.
Oh, it's terrible, isn't it? Well, I live in a quiet street here.
Yes, you're fortunate. It's all right in the rooms out the back of the house. You don't hear the cars.
Yes.
It's just in the front.
You should soundproof it with double insulated windows.
It's a good thing my brother doesn't sleep in this room anymore.
Why is this?
We wouldn't be able to have crossbands
Oh, that's
for a
right.
start.
Yeah. He'd be spewing all evening.
Fortunate me.
Well, it's good, I suppose, if you've got noise in the room.
Just heard wind noises then.
Well, it's very windy.
Still got the hyzers on all the time. I can't hear anything.
Anyway, this is possibly the last live contact for some while from here.
Could just be that.
No, I haven't been silver-fied. No, it's just that I might be...
But that comes later. Please advise office.
Well,
The matter is extremely urgent.
thank you. Those will be all the missions for today now. Oh, no, there's another one here. It's on the speaker. Donald's Careware.
Now, somebody has left their bag at Donald's Careware. If you've lost your books, I suggest you go and get it from there. What did she say? Immediately, or something. The matter is extremely urgent. Now,
No, she
don't
says,
come to me.
If
Go to Donald's Careware. Oh no, Caneware.
if you've lost your books, wake up. This is where it could be. She could have got a job at the BBC.
It's a deadpan voice.
Pay attention to the announcements, please. The matter is exceptionally urgent. Yes, something like that. The guy is around Caulfield South. He'd lie in bed in the mornings and his deadpan as anything.
Is he?
Through these phosphated speakers.
I've never heard him. What's
Well, it just sounds
are
pretty
the
boring.
announcements of any interest?
Not really. Oh, it's good you listen, you know, at about 10 o'clock or something, yeah, they accidentally switch and they put school or the air on or something. It goes all through the outside speakers for about 10 seconds.